It is finally here, Football Friday night in Junction City. We welcome you to the Dragon Sports Network's coverage of the 2018 Junction City football season, sponsored by our title sponsor, El Dorado Chemical, and the Junction City football sponsor for the Dragon Sports Network's coverage, Union Kennel and Farm Supply. Hello, I am Wayne Pumphrey, and I am excited to bring you the action of the 2018 season. And to start it off, we're going to start it off with a special night here in the border town. It is Wall of Honor night. Tonight, of course, 4 more individuals and a team will be added to the Dragon Football Wall of Honor. And it is a special now they're gathering, getting ready to come out on the field. In fact, they're starting out now. We'll hear in a little bit get started, the class of 2018. And as we wait on them to come up, we want to tell you a couple special features this year that the DSN's been added. And one of them, of course, is we kind of changed a few things and updated the equipment and all that. And we're going to try to bring you more action, more stats, a little bit more of everything. And you'll see that season progresses. I also want to do a couple shout-outs right off the bat to people that helped us today as sponsors as far as the Wall of Honor Mixers, first one we had this year, and it started at about 5:30. And, of course, we had a great crowd that showed up. Glad to have them all here. It was a very, very special time. A lot of great former Dragons coming back and all that good stuff. And some of those sponsors, I'd like to thank Office Depot for what they did. A shout-out to the Office Depot gang, and I'll get a little more specific later on. But we want to thank them for helping us. Walmart for their part in it. Subway and for all the food and good stuff. Miss Emma Wilson was a helper today helping get everything going. I want to thank her. And I also want to thank Miss Melissa Pumphrey. Best way to describe it, above and beyond. And of course, I'm proud to say I'm married to her, and I also told her in my book she's a Hall of Famer. But a lot of people helping out, and we'll get into some more of them later on. Right now, the Wall of Honor crowd is gathering down on the field, getting ready to start. Class of 2018, Coach Lowe and them getting everything set. And we'll be getting started here in a little bit. Also want to announce one of the big changes this year. Of course, we will be on the radio. You can hear us on 101.5 The Hog and on 13 KDMS on the AM side. And we want to thank Noel Mark Broadcasting for joining up with us. So you're going to hear a couple times there. It's going to sound kind of maybe a little off-kilter, but we're going to get used to it and try to handle it the best we can. But we are proud to have a radio audience with us this year, and they will be joining us here shortly. The 101.5 The Hog, pure classic country music. It is a Junction City radio station, so we are glad to have them with us this year. And right now, the class of 2018 gathering down on the field. And as they call them out, I will read the bios on each one of them. A couple of former Wall of Honor inductees showed up today. Was glad to see them. Mr. Jerry McKinnon, 1953 All-State football performer, outstanding player for Junction City. He was here along with Eddie Malone, great running back from the early 70s. I say early 70s. Eddie, get on to me for that. For about 1975 to 78, one of the best we've ever had. And Marcus Godfrey, he got to make it today. And Marcus, of course, from 97 to 99. And for a long time, held most of the school's rushing records. Set the standard for running backs, I guess you could say, in the last 20, 25 years or so. So glad to see those guys back. Got to visit with them just a little bit. And right now, of course, they're getting everything set here for the induction of the class of 2018. We should hear the PA here in a little bit. Miss Joy Mason. course, here after the Wall of Honor ceremony and everything, shortly thereafter, the pregame show, Junction City, Harmony Grove, will be the 21st meeting between those two. And, of course, we'll have all that to talk about and some more here in a little bit. And here we go.
Welcome to the Dragon Football Wall of Honor Class of 2018 induction ceremony. Tonight we are honored to present 4 great men and 1 great team for induction into the Dragon Football Wall of Honor. John Kelly was a 1928.
Okay, they're talking about John Kelly right now. John Kelly was a graduate of Junction City. 1928 was his graduating year. He played football for the Dragons from 24 to 27. He attended UAM, played football there for 1 year. In 47, Kelly became season. 33 years of service to the Dragons is the longest on record of any volunteer. He was awarded a plaque for his service to Junction City Athletics in 1967 during his 20th year of service. It is estimated that Mr. Kelly worked over 150 Dragon games during his tenure. He was a proud supporter and loved Junction City schools and all Dragon sports. Very avid supporter of the Dual State basketball tournament. Mr. Kelly passed away in 1980. And like I said in his bio, 33 years, which is outstanding.
Passed away in 1980. For his dedication and John Kelly is hereby inducted as a contributor into the Dragon Football Wall of Honor. His son Alvin Kelly and wife Betty are here tonight to accept this honor on his behalf.
Mr. Kelly, as you heard the PA announcer say, and Miss Kelly accepting on behalf of Mr. John Kelly, Mr. Alvin, let me be sure I got that right, Mr. Alvin Kelly, Miss Betty, accepting on his behalf. Our next inductee is Charles Garris. From 1953 to 55, Mr. Garris played offensive defensive end for Junction City. Known for their balanced offense that featured Wall of Honor member Jerry McKinnon's running game and the passing combination of Tommy Muse and Garris. Dragon teams during those 3 seasons earned a 74% winning percentage and a conference championship. At that time, the second most successful 3-year stretch in school history. Garris' touchdown receptions and tough-nosed defense earned the attention of several major colleges across the South, but a legendary foot race cemented his future. As Garris remembered years later in an interview, a Louisiana Tech assistant coach brought their starting end to Junction City. They summoned Garris down to the football field and asked him to race 50 yards. Garris won over the Tech player, and Tech on the spot offered him a scholarship. They raced again, by the way, and Garris won again. At Louisiana Tech, Garris earned all-conference 3 seasons in a row and led his position in receptions and touchdowns on some of Tech's most successful teams of the era, including conference championships at 57, 58, and 59, and a #1 national ranking in 59. After graduation from Tech with a degree in mathematics, Garris turned down contract offers from the NFL San Francisco 49ers, the New York Giants, and Vince Lombardi and the Green Bay Packers in order to play professional baseball for the St. Louis Cardinals. And there is no doubt, ladies and gentlemen, one of the best the Dragons ever had, Mr. Charles Garris.
Turned down contract offers from NFL's San Francisco 49ers, the New York Giants, and Vince Lombardi and the Green Bay Packers in order to play professional baseball for the St. Louis Cardinals. Charles Garris passed away in 2010 in Houston, Texas, after a distinguished career in the oil and electricity industries, the Houston Independent School District, and finally as a professor of mathematics at the University of Houston. Accepting his honor here tonight are his wife Linda and his children Sharon, Carol, John, and James. 2018 Wall of Honor inductee, Mr. Charles Garris.
And we'll let the PA catch up with us. Next up, one of the toughest running backs in Dragon history, Mr. Tommy Bryant. He's also considered overall one of the Dragons' toughest players. From 1982 to 84, Bryant was Junction City's go-to running back. In 34 games at tailback, he rushed for 2,145 yards and scored 17 touchdowns against defenses that were keying on him. Bryant had 7 memorable games. In 1983 against Stamps, Bryant rushed for 114 yards and scored 2 touchdowns to lead the Dragons to a victory. That performance earned him Associated Press Honorable Mention Player of the Week. He opened the '84 season against Norfolk by rushing for 208 yards and scoring 2 touchdowns in a win over the Leopards and was named AP Player of the Week for that effort. Bryant led Union County in rushing in 1983, and he was also named Offensive Back of the Year and Player of the Year for that season. Bryant was selected All-District in 1980. Before, ladies and gentlemen, one of Junction City's toughest, and as his teammates said about him, whenever it was time to play, Tommy was ready, hurt or not, he got out there. Congratulations, Tommy Bryant, one of Junction City's best ever. Next up, another running back and one that helped turn things around for Junction City and got us on the run we're still on to this day, and that's Mr. Sam Grayson. A running back from 96 to 98 and one of the key components in Dragon football becoming a statewide powerhouse, Grayson, 1998 season is considered one of the best in school history. That season he rushed for 1,491 yards on just 104 rushing attempts and scored 22 touchdowns, averaging almost 15 yards a carry. Due to the Dragons' domination of opponents, Grayson saw limited time at running back. His 1,491 yards rushing in 1998 was the second most push that season, which I mentioned a while ago, close to 15 actually, which was the highest average in school history at the time. It is now the third most today, and statewide is the 4th highest ever. Many Dragon fans will remember Grayson for his performance at Rising in 1998 when he helped lead Junction City to a 43-28 victory against the Wildcats. That game is considered one of the key wins in Junction City's rise to statewide recognition. It was also the Dragons' first win ever against Rising. Grayson finished his Dragon career on Junction City's all-time rushing yardage list with a total of 2,610 yards and 32 touchdowns. He was selected to the All-State team after the 1998 season. Mr. Sam Grayson, one of the toughest, along with Mr. Bryant, ever to get out there and tote the football for Junction City.
Selected to the All-State team after the 1998 season. 2018 Wall of Honor inductee, Sam Grayson.
Yes, sir. Very nice. And now if you want to talk about some of the best football teams Junction City ever had, let's talk about the 2008 Dragons. Any discussion among Dragon fans over which team is the best in school history would have to include the 2008 Dragons. In a very tough AA classification, the 2008 Dragons were ranked number 1 in the preseason and would go wire to wire to finish number 1. They were the first team in school history to earn this distinction. The 2008 Dragons finished with a perfect record of 13-all, and they did it with defense and a strong rushing attack. On defense, they allowed only a foot, ladies and gentlemen, per rushing attempt, which is a school record. They also allowed a school record 16 yards rushing a game. For the season, the 2008 Dragons allowed 214 yards rushing on 291 attempts. Opponents did not fare any better passing against them. They allowed only 71 yards passing a game. For the season, they allowed a total of an average 4 points a game. They allowed 55 points all season, 33 of those points being scored against the starters. In all, the 2008 Dragons set over 15 school records, including most tackles for losses in a season with 112. Offensively, they set several school records in the rushing category, including most rush attempts in the season with 522. They rushed for almost 4,000 yards. The 2008 Dragons will be remembered for getting the job done when it mattered the most. A 4th down stop late in the state title game led to a 59-yard drive that set up a 26-yard field goal attempt with less than a second left. The field goal was good, and of course, as we already know, Junction City clinched its 2nd state title. They are the 3rd team in school history to go undefeated and untied.
Title game led to a 59-yard drive that set up a 26-yard field goal attempt with less than a second left. The field goal was good, and Junction City had clinched its 2nd state title. Congratulations to the 2008 team players. Kadarian Ross, Alan Turner, Darius Dixon, Grantel Kennedy, J.D. Carter, DeMarcus Kemp, Che Hux, Antoine Cook, Dustin Howe, Paris Nelson, Kyle Darden, Rodney Berry, Daniel Wood, Ashley Bailey, Jerian Brown, Denzel Hayes, Noel Hobson, Devin Ball, Bronte Elliott, Scott McDonald, Sam Thurkill, Hunter Hall, Alvy McIntosh, Garrett Owens, Byron Jones, Caleb Amison, Brendan Hoof, Ashton Franklin, Devontae Hill, Jacob Humphrey, Laney Bryan, Chris Eckhoff, Deverick Wright, Justin Goff, Dominique Nathan, Vidarius Powell, Walker Cannon, Winston Stewart, Brett Gorman, Jacob Thurkill, and coaches David Carpenter, Robbie Lowe, Brad Smith, and Mike Barrett. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we induct into the Dragon Football Wall of Honor one of the greatest teams in school history, the 2008 Dragons.
And that'll do it. We have just inducted the class of 2018 and an outstanding bunch. And as you heard a PA announcer say, she called out the names of all the 2008 Dragons, and we are proud that all of them could make it. Now, all the inductees or their families. Very special night, and once again, another outstanding class. We are going to step away for a little bit, and when we come back, it'll be the pregame show and the 21st annual fracas between the Harmony Grove Hornets and the Junction City Dragons. You are watching Junction City Football on the Dragon Sports Network.